Okay, welcome to Core. This is the 5th map in Chapter 5. And something to note is that the previous map, Tube Ride, there is no tutorial video for because that map is literally a cutscene and no inputs you do in it matter, can save or lose any time. So just, you can go AFK in that map, do whatever you want, and then once you're here, you'll be dropped into Core after Tube Ride. From here, wall strafe up these stairs. Right here, you can either just jump to this position where you shoot this portal, or you can shoot some portals to get there a bit faster. It's up to you. And then right here, shoot a portal up there and go through it and just activate the door as soon as you can. Once this door is activated, a huge, big, long cutscene is going to start, and you just kind of have to sit through it because there's really no way to skip this one. GLaDOS will be talking at you, obviously, but I have her muted for now. One thing to note is that if you jump early, it might be possible to save marginal time here by already having downward speed when this thing opens up for you. But, you know, really small micro optimizations. Yeah, I'm going to speed up this cutscene until we get to a part where we actually have to do something. So, see you there. Okay, so after a little bit, Wheatley is going to come crashing in through a tube. And you can kind of play a little game. You can have Wheatley try to land on your head if you want. Up to you. But once Wheatley is here, you're going to want to make your way over to this circle eventually. Opposite the chamber, and then eventually it's going to open. Just walk right up next to it, look at it. Wheatley will immediately go in as soon as possible. And then after that, it's more waiting. There's a lot of waiting on this map. But the next spot to wait is about here, because eventually these doors are going to open, and the stalemate room is in there, and you're going to want to get in there as soon as possible. So once the stalemate room opens, what you ideally want to do is shoot a portal there, and then fling into a floor portal to go over these panels. If you can't do that, then there's a few alternatives you can do. You can just come over here, shoot a portal there, and go as intended. But either way, you want to hit that button, and crucially, you want to get out of this room as soon as possible. Hitting the button sooner actually doesn't matter, because you need to get out of this room as soon as possible to activate the room to close. It's when Wheatley says, "Here I go," that the cutscene actually begins.
I didn't think of that.
Oh, it will. Believe me, it will.
Are you just saying that, or is it really gonna hurt? You're just saying that, aren't you? You're just, no, you're not. It is gonna hurt, isn't it? Exactly.
And next step here. Well, actually, I should mention, for this cutscene, you actually have to look at GLaDOS in order to be save time, because if you don't look at GLaDOS, the next line of dialogue won't actually start. You have to be looking at her in order for the cutscene to continue. So just make sure you're looking at her until she gets fully disassembled. And then right here, we're about to set up for one of the singular most important skips in the game. We're about to get elevator skip, which saves, I believe, 2 minutes in a full game speedrun. But thankfully, it's really easy. Everyone should be able to get it with a little bit of practice. So my setup for elevator skip is as follows. You line up in the middle here, and there's kind of 2 lines here. The second line, I line up with the cross. This really is not precise, like at all, but you just kind of want to get here. And then just look straight ahead and wait for the elevator to come up. Yeah, once that opens, I would actually make a save here. Something like save Ellie skip. In order to effectively practice this, because you want to be really consistent at this. My setup for the elevator skip is as follows. Once the top of the elevator gets flush with the floor, I start holding W, and then I jump a little bit after that. So that looks like this. Start moving, and then jump and hold crouch. And once I get on the elevator, I start holding back.
Oh, right, yeah, the escape lift. I'll call it now. There we go. Lift cool. Look how
Oh, I missed it,
small
actually.
Right, yeah, the escape lift. I'll call it now. There we go. Lift.
I think it's messed up a little bit because of my
There we go. Lift
save.
Look, let me tell you, I knew it was... Right, yeah, the escape
The important thing is to note is once you get on top of the elevator, it will try to push you out.
Right, yeah, the escape lift. I'll call it now. There we go. Lift cool. Look, let me tell you,
So that's why you want to be as close to the middle as possible,
there we go. Lift cool.
so that it only pushes you out forward and backwards, and that you can
Call it now.
negate that just by pressing forward and backwards.
Look, let me tell you, I knew it was going to be...
And you want to be at the back of the elevator when it hits the top, because if you're at the front of the elevator, there's a good chance that you won't hit the actual trigger.
Right, yeah, the escape lift. I'll call it now. There we go. Lift cool. Look, let me tell you,
So it's just like that. And if you're all the way back, there's a chance you can get stuck here. But if you get stuck here, it's actually not an issue, because when the elevator starts moving, the game will unstuck you.
I don't even know what I just said, but I can find out. Oh, sorry, no, the lift, yes, sorry.
So as you can see, once the elevator starts moving,
It's amazing.
eventually I'll get unstuck.
How small you are. But I...
And then kind of shortly after Wheatley says huge, you'll get unstuck and you can fall out here. And then here, you fall out of the elevator and then into this hole.
Actually,
Now, ideally, what you would do is fall out of the elevator and then strafe into the hole completely seamlessly.
oh, right, yeah, lift. I'll call it now. There we go. Lift cool. Look, let me tell you, I knew it was going to be cool to be...
Yeah, that's why I like to be in the middle, kind of in the middle back of the elevator, as I'm about to hit the trigger, because that makes me not get stuck. Unfortunately, I can't walk out because there's a big invisible wall.
I don't even know what I just said, but I can find out. Oh, sorry, no, the lift, yes, sorry, keep forgetting. This body's amazing, seriously. I can't...
So my setup for getting the hole in one, which is when you strafe out and then immediately go into the hole, is I jump shortly after Wheatley says huge. And you're going to jump and you're going to clip to the ground, and then you're going to want to walk off so that you can crouch in midair.
Get over how small you are, but I'm huge.
Ideally, a hole in one will look like that. But that's actually a pretty hard strafe, and it only saves a few seconds. So really, you just want to jump out of the elevator, out of the top of it, and then go in this hole. And you just fall down to the end, and eventually the level will transition. And that's core. I'm not going to do a run-through of core because the map is so simple. Even elevator skip is kind of simple. Just make sure you practice getting on the elevator, because that's the hardest part, and that's when you're likely to fail it in runs. But yeah, that's all about core.